Good morning and welcome everyone to our practice today. Our practice is going to be one of Tonglen or compassion, and it will be ascending and a receiving. And please start in any position that feels comfortable to you. And start by breathing just naturally for a moment and letting yourself settle in. And relax into this moment. I'm going to invite the bell. And see if you can bring your attention to the sound of the bell, even if it's very, very soft. And let your gaze be soft and really feel the bell flowing through your body. And we're going to bring our hands to Anahata Mudra, which is the mudra of compassion. So you can bring your hands together in a prayer posture and then lower them gently to your heart center. And now close your eyes. And our affirmation today will be, I breathe in for all of us. I breathe out for all of us. So let your breath fill your body with your inhale. And then let your breath pass through. And in this state of openness or stillness, as we breathe in, see if you can invoke feelings of darkness and heaviness. And then as we breathe out, we're going to breathe out light and spaciousness. And see if you can have your in-breath and your out-breath be equal parts. So we'll breathe in this darkness and heaviness. And then we'll exhale fully with light, refreshing coolness. Bring your attention to your heart center and feel your heart widen and expand. With each in-breath, the darkness and heaviness enters through all the pores in your body. And with each out-breath, lightness, coolness, refreshing spaciousness radiates outwards. See if you can make the taking in and the sending out longer, still equal parts. And now bring an object or a specific person into your heart space. Someone whose suffering you wish to help dissipate. And be specific, think of a word or a short phrase that would bring this person compassion, wellness, healing. And now inhale the suffering of that person or object. And exhale with deep love and compassion that term that was in your heart. And this practice of Tonglen is one that will resonate with empaths and intuits. With each in-breath, we take in the other's pain. With each out-breath, we send relief. But by doing so, you will feel your own heart center also expand. And with our next exhale, we will say the sacred sound of Om, inhaling and exhaling. Om. We can repeat 2 more times. Inhale and exhale. And once more, inhaling. Very nice. You can release your hand posture. And if your legs have been uncrossed, perhaps you wish to switch the cross so that you're comfortable. And we're going to do a tiny bit of jaw massage. So let's take our hands and open between the 3rd and 4th finger, making a little V. And then bringing that V alongside the jaws. And just massaging in a circular motion. So your hands are encompassing your jaws and they're going, that finger opening is right at the base of your earlobe. You can circle in either direction. And for all the suffering and heaviness in humanity's jaws, I breathe in for all of us. And I breathe out for all of us. And now bring your hands to your temple. And you can let your fingertips go up the side of your scalp as well. for all the suffering in humanity's heads, for all that might have a headache in this moment. I breathe in for all of us, and I breathe out for all of us. And make sure that your breath is staying equal parts. So if you wish to bring a count of 3, like a 1, 2, 3 with your inhale and a 1, 2, 3 with your exhale, that might help you set the rhythm. And now we'll move on to our wrists, so we can open our hands wide and bring our wrists down and up and opening. And you might wish to clench your hands as well and open your fists. For all the suffering in humanity's wrists, I breathe in for all of us, and I breathe out for all of us. And maybe you wish to roll your wrists like little tree branches. And feel free, if you wish, the trees could be your objects too. It doesn't have to be a human being. So let's bring our legs to tree pose, but seated. Speaking of trees, so your right foot is tucked in and your left leg is out, is extended strong in front of you. Your toes are pulled back. We'll sweep our arms up. And as we exhale, we'll fold forward towards the trunk of our tree, our left leg, flexing the toes and pulling your nose towards your toe. For all the suffering in humanity's legs, I breathe in for all of us. I breathe out for all of us. Feel the spaciousness and expansion running down the back of your leg. And let your neck soften and your gaze soften. Feeling the opening in the muscles of the hamstring, the lengthening, relaxing your shoulders. And feeling your nose drawing towards your left kneecap. And now bring your hands to the ground, feel the earth, and lift yourself up. And let's switch our legs. So right leg extends and left foot tucks like Vikrasana when we're standing, but we're in seated posture. And sweep your arms up with a deep inhale. And again, exhale, breathing in for all of humanity and breathing out for all of humanity. Where can you create space in your physical form? Where can you soften, lean into the luxury of this pose? Maybe your right hand can find your big toe of your right foot, but that's not necessary. And let your hands come up your right leg until you come to a seated posture. And we're going to take the left foot, so lengthen up through your spine and take the left foot, bend your knee on the left side, and then bring the left foot over the right leg, flexing your right foot. And wrap your right arm around your left leg, and then inhale up to the sky with your left arm and start to turn and twist, bringing out your spine, looking with soft gaze over your left shoulder. For all the suffering in humanity's backs, I breathe in. And I exhale light and cooling, healing energy. And if you wish, unclasp the right arm and bring your right upper arm to the outside of your left knee. So now your right wing is open and you'll feel a different stretch in your shoulders. Maybe slightly move your neck around if you feel like there's a tension forming. Maybe nod yes and no. But head movement, do very, very slowly so that you don't feel any vertigo. And let's unwind and bring our left foot next to the right. Point and flex your toes. And we'll do spinal twist on the other side. So right foot comes to the ground and knee is bent, tucked in close to your body. Inhale and lengthen through your crown. And take a moment to flex your left foot, drawing the right foot over and wrapping your left arm around. Ooh, that feels so good. We're going to move very slowly into our postures, slowly and thoughtfully. Bring your right hand up to the sky. And now bring your right arm around your back. And you're looking over to the right, over your hip, not craning your neck back. Opening through your shoulders. Bringing out any tension in your spine and feeling a nice stretch in the right hip. And now maybe you wish to bring your left arm to the outside of your right kneecap, a little below the kneecap. And notice if there's any tension in your body and see if you can move into a posture that releases some of that. And now unwind and stomp your feet. Let Mother Earth receive anything that has just lingered in your body. So one thing to be careful of with Tonglen is as we draw in the suffering of humanity, our intention is to release that back, but make sure you don't hold on to any of it. So it's a passing through. And next we're going to come to our knees. And I've done this in the last couple practices because I just love this stretch so much. But if it's not for you, feel free to choose something else. But we're going to do thread the needle again. I feel like some love could be extended for all of humanity's shoulder muscles. So come to a tabletop position. Your knees are under your hips, and your wrists are under your elbows, under your shoulders. Deep inhales and exhales. And bring your left hand in front of your face. And now open to the right with your inhale and tuck your right arm through that opening between your left hand and your knees. And if you can, extend your right arm to the left and your left arm over your head, or you can gently bring your left hand and tuck it into the crease of your right hip. So you're balancing on your right temple. I breathe in all the suffering in humanity's shoulders. I breathe out all the suffering in humanity's shoulders. Feel the opening and the spaciousness being created in your own body. Equal part breath. 1, 2, 3 in, and 1, 2, 3 out. And now let your left hand come back near your face and gently come back to tabletop, and we'll drop our bellies. Inhale, look up, and exhale, rounding our spines. More loving kindness and compassion for the spine. Many people hold pain in their backs. And let's release all of that suffering. And coming back to a flat back. Bring your right hand under your face. And now your left arm can open with your breath. Deep inhale and exhaling. Threading the needle through. Resting gently on your left temple. And reaching with your right arm on the mat space above your head, or bringing your right arm and gently tucking it near your left hip crease. And try what feels best to your body. If this posture does not feel good to you, then maybe you do a fetal curl or child's pose or waterfall pose. So ask your body, what does it need in this moment? And choose that. There should be no pain. And now your right hand can come down near your face, and we lift back up. And we'll do a little table tiger. So let's start with bringing our right foot back and leaning into the calf muscle for all the suffering in humanity's calves. And I breathe in and out. And now come to stillness. And we're going to just raise our right leg up, so we're balancing. Push up through the shoulders. And now tuck your knee in towards your nose and press back out again. And sometimes we do this as bird dog and we use our arm as well, but we're going to just use the leg, and you're going to notice a strengthening in the left buttocks, the glute muscles. So in our Tonglen practice today, I hope it will bring some real deep awareness to specific parts of your body. And now let's release the right knee down to the ground and just turn your wrists so that one at a time, the inner arm is pointing forward. I'm just gonna turn each wrist just for a moment for a nice counter stretch. Okay, left foot extends behind. And let's massage the calf muscle with a little gentle forward and backward motion. Coming to stillness. If your wrists are starting to get sore, you can tuck your hands under so that, and they're almost like little gorilla hands, take some pressure off. Raise your left foot and tuck inwards. Inhaling with your extension and exhaling as you draw in your knee in a tiger crouch. Feeling the muscles starting to engage in your right glute. Gluteus maximus is completely engaged in this movement. One more. And come back to tabletop. And we're going to come forward to our bellies. So if you don't already have it there, it might be nice to place some type of a blanket or pillow, a small pillow under your hips. And we're going to take our fists and create a little knuckle point, maybe with one of your thumbs, to rest your yin tang or third eye on. So you can let your elbows come out to the sides and come down to your belly. And find your yin tang point. the third eye. And do very, very small micro movements in a circle, massaging this place. This will be potentially intense, so less is more. And ask your body, what do you need? This third eye massage is a very restorative and simple way to help with headache or monkey mind chatter, anxiety. For all the anxiety and stress in humanity, I breathe in for all of us. I breathe out for all of us. And if you wish, you can come up to Sphinx pose, or you can stay there, but maybe just come to stillness. Sphinx pose is now our Anahata. Our heart center is open, and we're resting on our forearms. You can open your finger pads and gently tap the back of your feet to the ground if that feels nice. I'm going to read you something tiny about compassion. Well, a tiny short reading, but not tiny in its nature. It's from a book, How to Love by Thich Nhat Hanh. And this book I return to anytime I'm struggling in relationship, and I just read it over and over again. Compassion. The second element of true love is compassion. Compassion is the capacity to understand the suffering in oneself and the other person. If you understand your own suffering, you can help him to understand his suffering. Understanding suffering brings compassion and relief. You can transform your own suffering and help transform the suffering of another person with the practice of mindfulness and looking deeply. So if you've been in Sphinx this whole time, roll your hips just gently from side to side. We're going to do another back opening posture. So if you wish, you can take this very mild, or you can do it to the full extension, but we're going to come into bow pose. So bring your right leg, your right foot closer to the base of your spine, your right buttocks, and see if you can reach back and find this foot with your hand. And this might be enough. Maybe you wish to also bring your left foot back and see if you can grasp that with your hand. Equal part breath. Breathe into the sensation. And maybe you start to lift up. But keep your gaze soft and close to the ground. With compassion, I breathe in for humanity's shoulders and lower backs and quadriceps. And lower yourself back to the ground. Bring your hands by your face. And let your knees Move from side to side, releasing. Very nice. And we're going to start to push up and come into lizard. So bring, if you had a blanket, bring that over to the side. We're back to our knees. And let's start by shifting your right hand so that it's more in the center. Shift your, you can keep your hands right where they are. You're going to bring, you may have to help it, bring your right foot up to the outside of your right hand. And at this point, our left knee is still on the ground, and this might be enough. But if you wish, you can tuck your left toes under and start to push up. So in this case, for lizard, our hands are on the inside of our foot. And if you have a lot of flexibility, you might be able to come down to your, to the inner arms in this posture. But that's not going to be in my practice today. Equal part breaths. For all the suffering in humanity's hips, I breathe in for all of us, and I breathe out for all of us. Push back into downward facing dog. We'll do the other side in just a second, but I want to let you have a moment to recover. And remember, if being in downward facing dog is too much for your shoulders, you can do this from a standing posture. Let's step now the left foot to the outside. You might need to help it to the outside of the left hand. And you can do this posture with knee down and foot flat, or with your knee up. Whatever you prefer. For all the suffering in humanity's hips, I breathe in for all of us. I breathe out for all of us. One more breath, feel that heat. And now push back to downward facing dog, or you could be in child's pose at this point if you want to rest. And let's step our right foot forward now into crescent lunge. So both feet are pointing forward, and we're going to rise up, receiving, and flow back down to the ground, pushing back into downward facing dog. And now left foot comes forward into crescent lunge. Rising up, maybe challenging your balance. Deep inhale and exhale, come back down. And pushing back to downward facing dog. Crisscross your feet to come up to forward fold. Halfway lift. Inhale and exhale, flow down. And now let's come up to standing and bring our hands back to Anjali Mudra at our heart center. So we're going to do a little balancing posture now. So find a grounding through your left foot and raise your right knee upwards. And now start to tilt forward. Hands can still be at heart center. And find a drishti, a focal point, on the ground in front of you that's not moving. For all the suffering in humanity's imbalance, I breathe in for all of us. I breathe out for all of us. For the moments where we become filled with imbalance. And now start to come back up. See if you can gracefully raise your knee again and then lower it to the ground and shake that all out. And we'll repeat on the other side. So find yourself a new spot on your mat space. Your shoulders can roll up and down. Find your drishti. Hands come to Anjali Mudra. Feel stability in your right foot. And raise your left knee. Remember, you can do these postures always holding on to a wall or a chair near you. When you're ready, start to tilt forward. Breathing in for all the imbalance in humanity. And breathing out lightness and freshness and balance. Feel the wobble in your right leg and the strength. See if you can lift your toes just a little more. And now gracefully come back to standing. Knee is raised. And let that come to the earth, gently flowing. Feel the little hairs on your arms moving. And the spaciousness in your spine and your shoulders and your hips. And now we will come down to a grounding posture, Malasana. So you can open your feet a little wider, let your toes point out. Again, bring your hands to heart center and see if you can slowly lower down until you find your version of Malasana. It's okay if your heels are not flat and you need to be a little tipped forward and use your hands. But see if you can open your pelvis and your hips wide by pressing the outer edges of your arms against the inner bits of your legs. Let Mother Earth receive through our feet. Let all the energies that you took in intentionally or unintentionally, let them flow back now to the earth. Your hands can find the ground behind you. And we'll start to roll down, hands to our shins, stay tucked until you come with your back flat and you can reach for opposite elbows. And give yourself a loving embrace. Loving what your body can do for you. And we'll let our feet find the ground. Knees are still bent. And your fingertips can grace the backs of your heels as you lift up your hips. I breathe in for the humanity of all suffering in people's hips and pelvic region. And exhale that down to the ground. I breathe out for our hips and our pelvic region. And maybe you wish to end today's practice in traditional Shavasana or opening your hips wide in Supta Baddha Konasana. One hand to heart and one hand to belly. Or hands can be open, flat to the ground, receiving. But ask your body, what does it need in this moment, and find a place that is most comforting to you. And if you like this hip opening to end your practice today, you can even tuck some pillows beneath each hip, and that will be a little bit more comforting or more supportive. So try different things and find what works for your body. And I will read to you from Awakening the Heart by Thich Nhat Hanh. While you rest and recover, and fill your own body with self-compassion. Love meditation is a method for developing the mind of love and compassion. Love, Pali or Metta, Mayatri in Sanskrit, is a mind that is intent on bringing peace, joy, and happiness to others. Compassion, in Sanskrit karuna, is a mind that is intent on removing the suffering that is present in others. That is the meaning of the phrase. Love is the capacity to give joy. Compassion is the power to relieve suffering. When love and compassion are sources of energy in us, they bring peace, joy, and happiness to those dear to us and others also. We all have the seeds of love and compassion in us. We can develop these fine and wonderful sources of energy. Mayatri and Karuna aren't the kinds of love that try to possess and appropriate, to dictate and bring about suffering for ourselves and those we love. Mayatri and Karuna are the kinds of unconditional love that don't expect anything in return. Consequently, they don't result in anxiety, boredom, or sorrow. The essence of love and compassion is understanding, the ability to recognize the suffering of others. We have to be in touch with the physical, material, and psychological suffering of others. To do so, we have to put ourselves inside the skin of the other. We must go inside their body, feelings, and mental formation and experience their suffering. We are taught to be one with the object of our observation. We observe the body in the body, the feelings in the feelings, and the mental formations in the mental formations. And take a minute now to feel the lightness and coolness, refreshing inside of your own body. And start to wiggle your fingers and toes, bringing your awareness back to the space in which you're resting. And you can roll gently to one side. And we'll come back to seated and rub our hands together, imagining that all of humanity is one body. With a deep inhale, feel the warmth in your hands and the energy. And cup your hands over your eyes, inhaling and exhaling. And cradle your chin for all of humanity. And hold yourself in loving embrace, putting your hands over your shoulders. And rub your hands down your legs all the way to your pinky toes. And now rub your hands again and imagining that we're one body. Where on your body needs some special love and healing. And bring your hands there. And we'll close with 2 sounds of the bell. May you breathe in and out with compassion for yourself and others. Thank you for sharing this practice today. Namaste.